アゴン小生願一種不浄土志願不満足政府上昇学がお無量公不意大聖衆不採小貧具政府上昇学が市場分道妙正長十法空教未正門政府上昇学利欲人少年上映衆凡行至愚無浄土一生天人師人力縁大公不生無才道少女三苦名交際主役難回避地営言滅死根無安閉塞小白道通達全宗門高僧上満足異様老十法日月主十期天候恩普賢一種解放像公正功徳法上大集中説法四四苦供養一切仏具足修徳本元年心上満徳意三概要如仏無下知通達二不詳願学営力都市最小尊志願や国家大仙王感動国小天人と内妙慶南蛮南部南蛮南部南蛮南部南蛮南部南蛮南部南蛮南部願日識独平等性際道本菩提心往生安楽ナモアミダナマンダナマンダナマンダナマンダナマンダナマンダ
The Jodo Shinshu Creed. Entrusting the vow of the Buddha and reciting the sacred name, I shall proceed through the journey of life with strength and joy. Revering the light of the Buddha, reflecting upon my imperfect self, I shall strive to live a life of gratitude. Following the teachings of the Buddha, discerning the right path, I shall spread the true Dharma. Rejoicing in the compassion of the Buddha, respecting and aiding one another, I shall do my best to work towards the welfare of society. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu.
Good morning. Welcome to our virtual service, and thank you for joining us today. Please join me in Gasho for a reading from Shinron's hymns based on Gothas in praise of Amida Buddha. And now here he's talking about the Pure Land. The delicate, wondrous sounds of the jewel trees in the jewel forests are a naturally pure and harmonious music, unexcelled in subtlety and elegance. So take refuge in Amida, the music of purity. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo. So since this week we are having our musical fundraiser, actually next week, I thought I might talk about music in my message today. Maybe help whip up a little more interest. In this month's issue of the BCA Connect newsletter, the Bishop's message is entitled, "The Dharma Must Make You Feel Something." The Dharma must make you feel something. Now, Bishop begins his message by saying, I happened to be watching an instructional music video on YouTube, and the instructor said, the reason why we make music is because we want people to feel something. And I thought this was a wonderful statement, and that the same could be said about Buddhism. Music can make us tap our feet, sway our bodies, jump for joy, move us to tears. It can make us reflective. It can take us back to our childhood. It can resonate with us seemingly to the very marrow of our bones. He says, and I feel the same thing, he says, I still get choked up when I conduct a cemetery service in which there is a military honor guard and they play taps. It's such a simple melody, but it's so sad and moving. And Bishop goes on to say, when I give a sermon or a Dharma talk, I hope the Sangha is feeling something. I hope they find the message either interesting, moving, thought-provoking, inspiring, enjoyable, or gratifying in some manner. He goes on to say, this is the challenge for a minister, to try to give a message in which people feel something. If I put everyone to sleep, then I've done the job. But I guess you could say that, actually, he said, if I don't put everyone to sleep, you can feel the job. But I guess you could say that too is a feeling if some people feel sleepy, you know. And he continues, he says, to me, the Dharma must resonate within us, like when we listen to our favorite music. It must hit our hearts as well as our minds. Now, I agree with what Sensei says. Of course I do, because he's the bishop. But I would like to challenge all of us, not just the minister, to find that feeling in our everyday lives by listening closely to the sounds of the Dharma. Let me explain a little bit what I mean. In the larger Pure Land Sutra, Shakyamuni Buddha tells us that Amida's Pure Land, in Amida's Pure Land, there are 1,000 kinds of music, from the realms ruled by the wheel-turning monarch up to the sixth heaven. That's the heaven of the world of desire. The sounds of music produced in each higher realm are 10 million times superior to those in the lower realms. The thousands of varieties of musical sounds produced in the sixth heaven are 1,000 times inferior to one sound produced by the 7 jewel trees in the land of Amitayas. In other words, the Pure Land. Again, in that land, there are thousands of varieties of spontaneous music, which are all, without exception, sounds of the Dharma. They are clear and serene, full of depth and resonance, delicate and harmonious. They are the most excellent sounds in all the worlds of the 10 directions. Now we speak of the Pure Land as being comprised of 3 components. Component number 1 is Amida Buddha himself. Component number 2 is the beings, the bodhisattvas that dwell there. And 3, the third component of the Pure Land is the things in that land, such as the ground, the trees, the rivers, the lakes, and the houses. Whenever things in the Pure Land make sounds, their sounds turn into the sounds of the Dharma. For example, whenever the ripples of the rivers or the leaves of trees generate sounds, their sounds become the sounds of the Dharma. In this way, all things in the Pure Land are constantly teaching the Dharma to the people of that land. So again, my challenge is to listen to the world around us. Listen to these wonderful sounds, the pure and harmonious notes and the softness of the sounds of the notes. Listen to the branches of the trees, the waters of the ponds, and the things that work and move. These all, without exception, produce the sound of the Dharma. Let me close by saying, through the power of the primal vow, there are 3 kinds of joy that arises. External joy. This is joy produced by the 5 senses. Internal joy. This is joy produced by the consciousness through meditation. And finally 3, joy of Dharma music. This is the joy produced by wisdom. That wisdom that comes from Amida Buddha. So please join me in Gasho once again for a reading from Shinron's hymns based on Gothas of the Pure Land in praise of Amida Buddha. And here again he's talking about the Pure Land. The delicate, wondrous sounds of the jewel trees in the jewel forest are a naturally pure and harmonious music, unexcelled in subtlety and elegance. So take refuge in Amida, the music of purity. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida. Again, thank you for joining us today and listening to my Dharma message, and have a wonderful rest of your day.